that thing that you are trying to cultivate, that thing in your life, that area in your life that you're trying to grow up, that thing that you're trying to nurture, that thing that you want to see bloom and you want to see blossom. They've been growing and they've been rooted and they've been growing. But when we allow the little foxes to continue to tread through, and then what happens with the little foxes is they come in, they dig up the soil around the vines, right? They dig up the soil, they chew on the vines, they bite on them, because they're looking for other little critters. They don't want to really eat the fruit, right? So we have to recognize these little foxes that run in to our lives, right? This is where we ask God for discernment, that we can discern when we see these little foxes, right? Because they don't always present as looking like little foxes. Because we have to remember that the Bible says that the enemy, Satan, he presents himself as an angel of light, right? He presents himself as something that he is not. And there's nothing that is in him that exudes light, right? But rather darkness. But he presents himself as an angel of light. He's very deceptive. So we have to ask God for a greater level of discernment, that when these little foxes run into our lives, and they can present as whoever it may be or whatever it may be, that we can recognize this is a little fox. And this thing is going to come and it's going to start to burrow. It's going to start to dig, and it will uproot all of that progress that you put in. It will uproot all of the effort that you put in. If you don't catch it, if you don't grab hold of it, it will uproot everything. All that you've invested, all that you've sacrificed. If we let these little foxes come in, it will uproot it. And that very thing that you've been trying to cultivate, that very thing you've been pouring into and you've been crying over and you have been slaving over and you've been praying about, that very thing, if we allow these little foxes to come in, it will uproot it. It will spoil the vines. And if it uproots it, it will not be able to continue to grow, but it will die and not live. So we need to ask God to help us to identify these little foxes when they come into our lives. Because we cannot let everyone and everything in. And when it comes in, help me to get it out.